Welcome to Real Love Real Stories, the podcast, a platform for couples to share their love stories and for singles to find hope. This is Kanu. I am the host. You are listening to episode number 7. And I want to introduce my couple for this episode who are all the way in Canada. I want to introduce Sean and Meeka. Enjoy their love story. Thank you very much, Sean and Meeka, for being a part of episode number 7. And I wanted to welcome you guys to the episode.
Thank you.
Thanks.
We're so excited to be here.
Yeah, no, thank you. So let's start off by you guys telling me how your love journey began. How did you meet?
Well, I think I'll start with the movie The Secret. I watched the movie The Secret and was inspired to find the love of my life. And so I started to make a list of all the things that I wanted in my Prince Charming. And I put at the top my Prince Charming, and then all these traits and qualities that I wanted, and I put it under my pillow and slept with this person every night.
Oh.
And about 3 weeks later, I was out with some girlfriends for a Christmas party, and the Christmas party was boring, so we left and we went somewhere else, and it was no good. And we got in a taxi to go home, and we realized we're all dressed up and we need to go somewhere. So we went to the local pub, and we walked into the pub, and I saw these 2 guys sitting at the table on the dance floor and started smiling, and then I actually pointed my finger and went like this. And then
To Sean?
Yeah, so and there was one of my buddies, and we're feeling sorry for ourselves, just sitting at a table watching the dance floor, and all of a sudden I see this girl like gesture waves. I'm like, she's doing one of these, right? Like she's not pointing at us. And she did it again. I'm like, whoa, Wes. I'm like, hey, that's us. Let's go. so we ran up to the dance floor and started dancing with them, and that's how we met.
That's pretty much how we met. Yep.
Oh my God, that's so cute. So The Secret that you talk about, the movie The Secret, where the energy flows where attention goes, sort of thing.
Yeah, so I discovered Bob Proctor in that film, and just resonated completely with this gentleman's way of thinking, and all of them, Michael Beckworth, and the funny thing is, or the I think one of the best parts of the story that can give so many people hope and inspiration is that when the place was closing and the lights came on, Sean and I were 2 of the last people there, and all of our friends had been kind of kicked outside because the lights were on, the party was over, and we were waiting on coat check because we lost the ticket for the coat check and had to wait till everybody was gone. So we're standing inside, it's nice and warm, it's December 16th, and all of our friends are outside freezing, and his friend pops his head into the door and says, "Yo, Prince Charming, let's go." And I looked at Sean and I was like, "What did he just call you?" And he's like, "Oh, that was my nickname from hockey. I used to have long hair and everybody called me Prince Charming." And that was,
Oh my
I
God.
get goosebumps like right now thinking about it. And so we went to Denny's and had some food at 4 a.m. and then we went and played cards till 7 a.m. and we started dating, and then we just fell in love, and we've been together for almost 12 years now.
Oh my gosh, you just gave me goosebumps because you started off by mentioning on your list of things, that very top thing was Prince Charming.
Yes.
And that's his nickname.
That was his nickname. So yeah, I know, I got goosebumps too, like crazy. And so we've shared this story with a few friends over the years, and I've actually got 3 girlfriends, Sean knows them, that have all met their Prince Charming by making a list and putting it under their pillow.
Oh my gosh, I love that. It's like, is it Bob Proctor who talks about the universe is like if you want something, you, like you did, just list out what you want, and then you can pretty much say, I want this, I want this, I want this, and then the universe will provide. Is that sort of that same thinking?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
To think is to create. What you focus on grows. Where attention goes, energy flows. All those commentary, they're all very true. It's sometimes challenging to stay in that mindset because it's a slippery slope. You can start thinking about what you don't want, and then all of a sudden that starts to come into your life. And there's a lot about worthiness and feeling like I'm not worthy of this person. And so then, you know, God, the universe, whatever you believe in, says, okay, you're not worthy of this, and so you don't get to have it. And it's, yeah, so if you can stay in that mindset of being worthy and knowing what you want and really going after it and not settling, just, yeah, I mean, when I met Sean, it was fireworks. And I mean, our love story just is very special.
Oh, so Sean, so she's calling for you and saying you, and then you turn around, you're like me, and then you guys go over. So at what point did you ask for her number? Did you know you wanted to go out with her?
Yeah, it just kind of happened. I don't think there was really a decision or anything like that. It just, everything felt great, so we just kept going. It turned out we were only lived like a block apart.
Are you serious?
Yeah, so Sean offered to walk me home. He says, hey, can I walk you home? And I'm like, I mean, I grew up in downtown Toronto, and I've never had such chivalry in my life. And that was all part of the Prince Charming. Can I walk you home? And so we started walking, and I was freezing. I mean, I was in my little, Christmas party dress, and I was freezing. And I said, can we please get a cab? And then it turned out, yeah, we're living a block apart. And it was like, wow, it was so special. Yeah.
Oh, I'm getting goosebumps from hearing that. Yeah, that's so awesome. So, okay. So how long did you date before you got engaged?
3 years.
3 years.
2 years.
Or 2 years.
Yeah.
First year, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So engaged 2 years and then married the 3rd year.
Tell them your clever plan.
My clever plan. Well, we went to we had a trip to Cuba. So we met on December 16th, and then so our trip to Cuba fell on that week as well. So at this point, I wanted to ask Meeka to marry me, and
this was
I called her dad a couple weeks before, a month before or something, and asked his permission, and then so we were in Cuba, and the 16th was like right in the middle of the trip, so I was not exactly relaxed the first half of the trip. So this, I think the 16th was a Wednesday, I want to say.
Yeah.
But and so that's the evening that I proposed, and it worked out that I was like, okay, perfect. 16th will be the same day that we met, be the same day that I proposed, and keep everything lined up so I don't have to, we only got one date to remember instead of 2.
And then when did we get married?
And then we got married on the 16th as well.
On the 16th as well.
That was definitely.
That was fantastic. So wait, 16th of December or 16th of a different month?
December.
Yeah.
So you met on December 16th. 2 years later, December 16th, you proposed, Sean. And then a year later, you got married December 16th.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Oh my goodness.
I mean, it'd be awesome even if it wasn't.
The whole story just gives me goosebumps hearing from Prince Charming to nickname to like the dates all sort of lined up. That's really awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So where was the wedding? Was it in Canada or did you?
Oh, we went to Cuba again for a wedding.
Oh, so you proposed in Cuba and then you went back for the wedding?
Yeah, we had because most of Meeka's family is back in Toronto and Montreal, and most of my family and friends are out here in BC and Vancouver and Kamloops and around. So we decided that for either side to go to one side of the country or the other, you're going to be spending as much or more for only, like maybe 2 or 3 days
Right.
worth. And for us to take a whole week to go on vacation, which is probably less money for people to make the trip.
Yeah.
And then we get a whole vacation out of it. So.
And it was December.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
Oh,
It was a forced vacation for most people. It was a dream
yeah, it was great.
wedding.
We had 22, including us.
21, yeah, including us.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so awesome.
It was a dream wedding. It really was an absolute dream wedding.
Yeah. So have you gone back to Cuba? Like, do you go back? Do you plan to go back for future anniversaries? Because this is like a special place for you guys now.
Yeah, we've been saying we're going to go back quite a bit. We seem to go everywhere else. So we need to probably next year will be our 10th wedding anniversary. And so I would think maybe that would be a good time to go.
Maybe.
We're talking about Europe too, so we'll see.
Yeah, which one wins? Yeah, that's awesome. So, what qualities about each other do you like? Let's start with you, Sean. What qualities about Meeka do you like?
Everything. That's easy.
That's a good answer.
No, I love her energy is just always infectious and contagious, and she just lights everything up all the time, and she's beautiful.
Oh,
What else?
So many smart, intelligent, all this. She's so caring, so others focused, and so giving. Always, she's my biggest cheerleader.
Oh. I'm just gonna say for iTunes people that will be listening in without seeing you guys. You guys, the way you look at each other and there's just lots of love there. I love seeing that.
We wish that for everybody. It's possible, So with Sean, what I love, I think the most about him is his heart. Like he's got such a huge heart and an incredible example of integrity. He's just got so much integrity and ethics and values. The fundamentals for us are really in alignment, and he has patience. I didn't grow up with a lot of patience around me, and Sean is the most patient human being I've ever met. And he creates space for me to do what I want to do, and then supports me all the way through it. I mean, it doesn't matter what I choose to do. If I want to paint, or I want to sing, or I want to be a bartender, or I want to be a pilot, Sean will just support me all the way through it. And he your patience and your support is just unbelievable. Like unwavering, unconditional love. I've never felt unconditional love consciously in my life until Sean. I feel like, not that I can do no wrong, but if I do wrong or make a mistake, there's always forgiveness and just love. And he appreciates me, the little things, and he helps. He's one of those men that helps with everything. He always opens my car door. He goes with the flow all the time. I get to play whatever music I want on the radio. Mostly. Even if I play Cyndi Lauper and sing at the top of my lungs, he's got a big smile on his face. So I think, yeah, he's a dream guy for me. Yeah, I see till death do us part with smiles for sure, because he's like my soulmate.
Oh.
Yeah, we're like best friends.
Yeah.
So perfect.
If I want to rescue an animal and bring it home, he's okay with it. He's twice. I bring home strays all the time. I've got my crazy bird feeders and plants, and like, I'm nurturing everything everywhere, and he's so patient of that.
Yeah. Oh, that's so nice. Yeah, for sure. I can tell there's really, really some beautiful love between the two of you for sure. So I even hate to ask this question. So on the flip side of that, what is there an annoying quality about each other that you deal with?
Yeah. I better go first because you might say nothing, and now maybe you'll start thinking about it. I think the only annoying thing is, I wouldn't say annoying, challenging, is that he is so patient that if he's annoyed with something or doesn't like something, I don't think you speak up about it. You just let it go, and that scares me that those let it go moments will build up to like this big explosion someday, because you're just so patient. So yeah, and I think it's a man-woman thing often, that women love to communicate and, express emotions and want to know what you're thinking all the time. And Sean's in the nothing box, and I'm being sold that men actually have a nothing box. They're thinking about nothing. That's
true. No problem with the nothing box.
So that's the only thing I would say is yeah, it's annoying when I want to know what you're thinking or what you're feeling, and you're like, I'm good, I'm fine. How about you?
I don't know. It's a hard time.
Come on. This is a great opportunity for me to learn something.
She's absolutely perfect. Is that what I'm hearing, Sean?
Pretty much. Oh, maybe okay. So actually, we were just talking about it last night. That there's always kind of a push and pull between. She always likes to stay up late, and I'm more of a morning person. So there's always a push pull of she's trying to keep me up later, and I'm trying to go to bed. And then she won't get up in the morning.
This is true.
Yeah, so your thing is that she stays up late, and as a result, you stay up late, but you're a morning person, so you're not able to get up in the morning.
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah. That's awesome. Well, thank you for sharing. So what would you say then, what's the secret to your relationship? Like what makes it work? Because it doesn't even sound like you guys fight.
Not much. I mean, we'll have disagreements or yeah, I think it's just we're always not necessarily right away, but we'll get to the other person's perspective. Yeah, and I think just the understanding and communication comes out eventually. I'm not always the first to communicate, but eventually we get there.
So it sounds like communication is at you said you're not the best sometimes, but it sounds like that's what sort of keeps you guys, your relationship going.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's awesome. So Meeka, can we talk about your idea? Because I want to do that too. I am a huge fan of The Secret, and I've done The Secret for my business, my life goals, everything except for relationship, which is kind of funny because that's one of the things that I'm like, I want. So what would you say to somebody single like me who's looking and perhaps wants to do what you did? What sort of process can I go through to do what you did?
Yeah, it depends on how far down the rabbit hole you want to go. I say, well, Les Brown says, shoot for the moon and you might land on the stars. And so you think about the core fundamentals of what's really important. A lot of times people might focus on what they don't want, and unfortunately, that's what they attract. And so you make a list of all the things that you do want, starting with family. Do you want somebody that wants a family, or do you want someone that already has children? Is it important to you? Political beliefs, is religion important to you, that they be a certain, have a certain following, a certain belief? Get the fundamentals straight for yourself, and then you can seek that in your partner. And then things like, early rise or late, like those you aim for everything. Do you want someone that's taller? Do you want someone that loves to smile, loves to laugh? Are you more of an introvert? Sunday morning, do you prefer to sit on the couch and read a good book, or do you want someone that's going to jump out of bed and go on a crazy hike and do triathlons? These you don't have to have all of these things in common. It's really important to have 3 relationships, the one with yourself each, and then the one together. But you might as well start to really recognize what's important to you as an individual, so that you can attract the person to do those things with. What do you think?
Yeah, I think just being like all the things that you said, and then at the same time also being open to not necessarily, may not look exactly like you necessarily want it, but just being open to open to.
So there's a laughter behind there. Can I tell them that part? Okay. So when we started talking and getting to know each other, I asked Sean, what does he do? And he said,
At the time I was doing door-to-door sales.
And I said, no, really, what do you do? He's like, really, I do door-to-door sales. I'm like, no, seriously, like, what do you do? And because he had just spent a year and change in Japan and did a bunch of traveling and came back right out of university and wanted to, needed to get back on the ground running, doing something. And that's when I met him. And so I really didn't believe him. That was not on my list. There's an idea of maybe marrying somebody that's financially secure, super wealthy, or whatever the case may be. And as Sean says, be open to that, maybe looking a little bit different, because we've created our success together completely. Created our success together. And so it's been a great journey. So know exactly what you want, and then be open to it not maybe looking the same. That's good.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. So, Sean, I know that Meeka said she had a list. And so did you have an idea of who you were looking for? Did you have a list of your own, of the type
Not anything like consciously, I guess. It's just, I just kind of knew what the type of person that I wanted to be with, and she filled pretty much everything there. So
Yeah. Did you
yeah,
have
I didn't have like a list or anything.
Oh, okay. And were
It
you
definitely had to align with some of my values and personality and things like that.
Yeah. So that night, did you have an idea? Were you looking, or were you just hanging out with your friends?
No, I wasn't looking.
Aren't single guys always kind of looking?
Well, we all. I mean, I don't know. There was definitely something special, for sure.
Yeah.
At first, when we met, obviously. We weren't going out to look for
Oh, okay. Okay.
future wife, if that's what
No.
you meant.
let's go to the Foggy Dunes and find my husband. No, that wasn't, we definitely weren't at the bar that night to meet our partners. That's
It's when you least expect it when it happens, right?
yeah, sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah. So do you guys have any terms of endearment for each other?
Pretty much always babe.
Babe, yeah.
Okay. Okay. So both of you guys you call each other babe?
Yeah.
Okay.
And if we have a disagreement, Sean came up with this great idea many, many years ago, like in the early years of dating. We have a word. We haven't had to use it for a long time, but Sean found a word that if we're having a disagreement or we just don't agree on something and the energy's starting to go south. What's the word?
Purple Monkey Dishwasher.
Wait, did you say purple monkey what?
Purple Monkey Dishwasher.
Purple
That
monkey.
is something off The Simpsons from, I think, Homer has made it.
So that's our neutral word.
So-
Purple Monkey Dishwasher.
What the
How
heck?
can you not laugh? So whoever's got the more, I guess, stronger moment of consciousness or groundedness or forgiveness or whatever it is, that's the word that we really haven't used that in years. But
Yeah, but it's there if you need it.
I think it's important to, as you're escalating in a discussion, to have an exit strategy, have a word that you simply cannot say without smirking, because that's a really good chance. That's your hope in neutralizing the energy.
Yeah, that's from?
I think it's
Tony-
from The Simpsons.
Yeah, the phrase, but isn't Tony Robbins? So, what's he call it? Something
Oh
like,
yeah,
is it
interruption.
interruption, or like
Yeah.
some term for it.
Oh, okay.
That's another thing, like where Sean and I are hugely into personal development. And if one person is growing and the other person isn't, it's inevitable that you just grow so far apart. And it's so important, I think, that you're in alignment with the growth. We've done so many classes and courses and just to stay on track. And we even have a counselor that, because I have, we all come with our stuff. And I have stuff from my childhood that comes up in our marriage that's not Sean's fault at all. It's my stuff, my history, belief systems that were created very young in my life, that can come into the relationship and not be beneficial.
Mhm.
And Sean's got a few things too. And to realize that it's not fair to the other person to consistently bring that stuff up and put it on them when it's really got nothing to do with them. And so we started to see somebody that I studied with years ago. We see him, sometimes we'll see him every few months, and sometimes we'll go 2 years without seeing him. But just knowing that he's there and we can go into this neutral space and share what's on our heart and on our minds and sort through and have this third person be there to explain why we might be feeling a certain way and take the blame off of the other person has been really great.
Mhm.
I really encourage anybody to, there could be a stigma attached to that relationship counseling or whatever it is,
Right.
that you want to call it. But if you've got somebody really good that you trust, it's so great. We always know we've got that if anything happens, because life throws curveballs all the
Right.
time.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'd relate it back to like sports or something. I mean, the best athletes in the world have coaches.
Right.
And like, would we not want to have the best marriage in the world? So we would have a coach. But there's that kind of, or there has been, it's definitely fading away, I think, of the negative stigmatism of counseling, right? And that's yeah.
No, I like the way you put it in terms of the best athletes need a coach. So why not a relationship needs a therapist as well. So speaking from a person who is a trained therapist, so I strongly support that as well. So yeah, that's a really good point. So I want to put it out there to those people that will be listening to this episode to say, let's do a challenge for those that are single to say, write down the perfect partner, whether man or woman, write down the perfect partner, put it together. And then, you know, when people start to meet that person, like sort of how you guys met, to, you know, reach out and share with you guys and just share their stories with you guys too, to say, this is what we did after listening to this episode, and, you know, we met our, you know, respective partners, and I'm going to do that too. So, so I am going to be one of those people for sure. Yeah. So I want to take this time to just say thank you so much. I know you have busy lives, and, you know, I'm so excited to have been able to chat with you guys all the way from Canada. And I really appreciate your support in this. And again, thank you so much both for taking time to chat with me this morning.
Oh, thank you.
Thank
You're
you.
absolutely delightful. You host a fantastic show. You ask really great questions, and you've engaged us. Thank you. It's been, people who fall on your show are very fortunate. We'll be sure to share. And yeah, remember when you're making your list to put it under your pillow. That's the trick.
I'm going to do that. I am going to absolutely do that. And I'll keep you in the loop of what's happening for sure. Or you'll find out from the episodes as I am, because I'm going to be talking about it until I meet my Mr. Right. One day is for me to do my own love story. Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode. I really hope you enjoyed it. Do you have a love story? Or do you know somebody with a love story? If so, shoot me an email, kanukayi@gmail.com. Please go to my YouTube channel, Real Love, Real Stories Podcast, and subscribe. And also follow me on Instagram and Facebook, Real Love, Real Stories. Till next time.